Going to court, yeah, going to court from prison. What a long day. We're there, we're prisoners, we've committed crimes, we deserve it. It doesn't change the fact that it is a long process, and if you've been up half the day by 9 a.m. It feels like um you know screw comes around about 5:30. You don't really go to sleep early the night before. There, what's the point? I'll go to bed early for cool. You do what you're doing. If there's a film on till 3 in the morning, you'll start and watch it. Screw comes around about 5:30. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. Knocks on the door. Bang bang. Aldred, court in the morning. Court in 15 minutes. Be ready for court. God, roll over and go back to sleep, don't you? When he comes back, about this is usually what happens. Usually he'll come back about 45 minutes later. It's never ever 15 minutes later. You'll find that out if you've been there. If you're unlucky enough that you've been there a few times, If you've made that many mistakes, you've been through there. If you've acted like a fool enough times, you realise that they're never 15 minutes. 45 minutes he comes, busts the door open. You ready yet? You ain't moved. You roll over again, you know what I mean? Aldrin, I thought I told you to get ready. What's the time now? Nearly about 6:30 nearly. Yeah, well the bus ain't leaving till 8:30. Come back then. What? You better get ready, blah blah blah. Listen, I ain't ready yet. Got to get to the toilet, I've got to go to the toilet, I've got to get dressed, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. What are you gonna do? Not let you go to court as a punishment. Trust me, they got better things to do as well than create a fuss and hit alarm bells and get you twisted up and chucks onto a bus. They've got much better things to do, and they're busy as well. And the changeover's going to start about 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. These are night screws that are dealing with this. By 7 a.m., they go home. The other screws start. They don't want to start doing paperwork and keeping themselves there later. And besides, the bus ain't leaving till that time, so really they don't care. Shut the door. They go. The night screw, the normal screws are there now. Are you ready yet, Aldrin? Oh, in a minute, go. Give me 20 minutes. They have a go. Yeah, they've missed out on the hours worth of chit chat back and forward, so they don't really care. They don't know. I've done that a few times. I've done that a few times. Genuinely, why would you want to sit? Why would you want to sit in the holding pen? For 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. You might be lucky, it might be only two or something, but those holding pens as well. You go from one cage to another, just working your way towards the bus, the prison bus, the sweat box, taking you to court. This wasn't one of those times actually. Um, Me and my Cody was in a cell together in on D Wing in Pentonville. We was on the ones on the ground floor, and I'm pretty sure all the cells had it. They didn't actually. Some of the cells did. I can't remember. I can't remember if all the cells had it on the ones anyway. The ground floor. You had a separate. It was a tiny little room, but you had a separate toilet and sink with a little door separating it from the cell, which is which is handy, which is nice. You know what I mean? It's a touch. We was in one of them cells. We had wooden bunk beds. If anyone's ever been in prison or seen pictures of prison, it's usually the old metal bunk beds you'd see, or if you've ever been, that's what you'd be thinking of. These were like new modern wooden bunk beds, like IKEA bunk beds, but they were decent. Um, yeah, me and my Cody are in this cell. Um, we the day this the court date we're talking about here is sentencing at SNARESBROOK Crown Court. Um, for burglary. I'm probably I think I got a 28 months and my code got like a 5 or a 4.5. Same crime, different criminal records. Someone might think, well, it's bad, not compared to his. Yeah. Anyway, we decide we're gonna have a day out, as we called it, a day out. It's got nothing to do with going to court. It's all about getting buzzing. A day out. If it was night time, we call it a night out. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Getting sentenced. It's a boring day as well. It's a boring day. I mean, that's the most boringest day out of the lot. You wait around all day, or whatever time you get seen. Say you get seen as soon as you get there. Lovely. You're in court for 10 minutes. You get sentenced. You go back to the cell all day, praying that you get an early bus home. Back to prison. It is home, isn't it? When you're there. I never looked at it as home really, but you're there 24 hours a day. Yeah, you're praying that you get on the early bus so you can get back and hopefully have normal dinner on the wing instead of the crap they give you at a reception. So we got hold of weed. I've actually can't remember where we got it from on the wing. Can't remember where we got that. We had a bit, nice few joints. And we'd been getting his skeezers pre-gabs off him every day. Pre-gabs, pre-gabbling. They're a muscle relaxant. I don't know what. I'm not sure why he was prescribed them. He used to get 300ml tablets. I mean, 300ml tablet would do ya. He used to get 300ml tablets. He used to get one a day. I don't know how many he used to get a day. He used to get one at a time. 3 times a day. I don't know. We was getting a couple off him a day for a few days, good few days, and ended up with 1200 each. 1200ml each. It's 4 tablets each. That's a what we would have thought back then, stupidly, as a good day out. And I say stupidly because these things are lethal. They'll kill you. These things will kill you. It's documented. They've killed plenty of people pre-gabs. Very easy to look up and research. I'm not advocating anyone do it. I'm just saying this is what we was getting up to. I knew about the risk then. I didn't care. Couldn't care less. I didn't care less then. Care less now. Cody didn't care either, obviously. So we're in a cell. I can't remember who woke up first. Usually, obviously, the screw's got to drag us out of bed, get up and kick us out of there. You know what I mean? This day we're up. I can't remember who got up first. You're gonna wake the other one up by going into the toilet and turning the light on into that separate room. It's not as brutal as turning the cell light on. You know that causes a fight. It don't matter if you're Cody's. This is the Cody. It's the same Cody. If anyone's ever seen a story about the worst cellmates we ever had, this was it. Cody. He was the worst cellmate. Anyway, we've gone up into the toilet, woke, turned the light on. Whoever's awake, we woke each other up now. Kettle on, lovely. You know, quick wash. You know it is when you get up in the morning ready for court. Quick wash in the sink. They're not going to let you out for a shower, so you get up, towel on the floor, fill up the sink, armpits, face. Well, you do your face first, don't you? Really, you're not going to do your armpits and your face, but your face, your armpits, your other bits. You might dip your feet in there. It's a long old day. You don't want to feel dirty all day. Toilet, empty out, wash out the bowels. Coffee's on. We're sitting down with the coffee now. It's 5:15. We've got ages to get opened up. 5:15, 5:15 a.m. We haven't got no tobacco. Me and him are murder for this. Me and him are murder for having no tobacco between it. And I've got to say, I'm not just saying it because he's not here. It's always him. He's got no sense of like saving anything. Yeah, he's got no sense of it. Even to this day, I guarantee you, he's sitting there with one cigarette in his box, thinking shit, he's got to wait till the morning because one stop's shut. Oh mate, it's murder. We've got weed, we've got no tobacco. We want to join this. We might as well. Ashtray gets busted open, then it's ripped open the ashtrays. The butts in the ashtray. It's jail, man. What are you going to do? You can't nip to the shop. Make a skinny, dirty joint. Smoke it. Wash it down with a coffee. Yeah, it's not as bad with the coffee, but it's still bad and it's skinny and it's sort of a waste, really. Well, it's not. I'm lying. It's not. It's nice to have that in the morning, but the cell stinks. We don't care. Kettle's on again. We'll sort of wait around now. We haven't got enough. We'd smoke another joint if we had tobacco. We sort of wait about till 5 minutes before the screw. Before we think the screw's going to start opening doors. Like I say opening doors, coming around telling people, you know, get ready for court, blah blah blah. Give it about 5 minutes. Wait 5 minutes, I should say. Get the pre-gabs out. I take 2 out. He takes all 4 out. And the capsules, yeah, fill up with powder. I empty 2 out onto the table. He empties all 4 of his out onto the table. Banged out into a massive line. 2 capsules worth, 4 capsules worth. His one's about the size of the cell, man. It's massive. Gone. It's not as bad as what people are thinking. Yeah, sniffing that it's easy. Truth be told, it doesn't really taste of anything. You get it sometimes, you get it, but you get that with Charlie, don't you? We don't. It's not even that bad as Charlie, right? I don't know why we sniff it. I think it hits you quicker. It does the same job if you swallow it, but if you sniff it, gets you buzzing quicker, man. Anyway, I should skip forward now about an hour. You know, yeah. Screw comes round. You got 15 minutes. We're already up. He don't come round for about another hour. It is what it is, you know. By that time we're bouncing, mate. Both of us are bouncing, and I should say the buzz of that is euphoric. Euphoric, man. You're relaxed. You're super relaxed, and you're in a good mood. And again, these things are lethal. They'll kill you, but they just relax you out, man. Make you feel euphoric. It is what it is. That's a good word to use to describe it, because you're not off your nut. You're not off your nut falling about, dribbling and tripping out and banging into walls. You're just in a super relaxed, good mood. Playing with the weed, shit. Right, playing with the weed. We separate the weed in the cell, yeah. Right, because just in case when we get to SNARESBROOK we get put in separate cells. That doesn't happen, yeah. And we usually ask anyway. If we go to court, say, yeah, it's my colleague, put me in a cell with him. Right? Usually it says yes, but sometimes it goes pear-shaped. But usually, this was one of the times it was sweet. Anyway, we separated just in case. We put 2 zoots aside to sell for tobacco when we get out of the cell. We're thinking when we get to the holding cell, there's going to be hundreds of people from all the wings. Someone's going to want these 2 zoots, 100%. We literally get outside the cell door and sell it to someone there and then for about an 8 for burn, 8 for tobacco. Right? We're sweet now. We split the tobacco in half. We're lovely. We get to the holding pen, and what you do is you get your weed, your tobacco, your Rizla. You sort of wrap it all up together. You might have matchstick heads and a strike, and then just sort of cheeks it up. Put it between your bum cheeks. Yeah. Get on the bus with it. You're not allowed to take none of that to court, surprisingly. It's weird how they won't let you take weed to court, innit? But you're not allowed, or tobacco, even back then. And the lighter, I just cheeks the lighter as well. Or you got Rizla, but you don't. You don't cheeks the lighter straight away unless you enjoy it. You know what I mean? Anyway, if we wrap a suit in the holding cell, we wrap a quick suit in the holding cell, and then put all the stuff away. Spark it, smoke it. I'm buzzing already, yeah. The weed just kicks it in even further and makes you feel like, do you know if you smoked a joint after after drinking about 8 pints of Stella and you smoke that joint, it's like, woof, then you're wavy. That's sort of this makes you feel, but in a really good wavy. You're not offering no one out. Sort of like, yeah, man, we having a laugh, taking the piss out of the weirdos in the corner. We're waiting. I don't know how long we're waiting there. Hours and hours and hours. It's always hours. You see the first people getting on the bus. You think, oh, one of these days that's going to be me. One of these days I'm going to get on the bus first. You never ever do. Never. I never do anyway. 3 hours sitting there. Oh, fuck's sake. To say when I go to court as well. When I come back, you know what I mean. Usually, even if I got done at 9 in the morning, I will not come back until 7 o'clock at night, which is ridiculous, mate. You get back to court and you see people, yeah. I got back at lunch. I was eating my baguette. I was fuck off, man. Yeah. By the time we get called for this sweatbox, the prison bus taking us to court, mate. I'm flying, mate. He's gone. He's had all four. He's waving, mate. You know what I mean? Going all over the shop, bumping into things. He is bumping into things. Telling all the bird screws they're fit and that he's calling them to the hey mate, you're well fit. Open up, get on a sweatbox now. He's told the screw on a sweatbox that if she's fit. I've got on a sweatbox. When I'm on a sweatbox, I don't want to talk to no one on a sweatbox. Yeah, I spend all my time with these boys on a sweatbox. You know what I mean? I want to look out the window and ignore everyone else. He's in there rocking, mate, rocking it side to side, banging it about. Oh, it gets a sandwich, miss. Back in the day when they used to give a sandwich and a water. Oh, you lucky people, you. I'm just looking out the window. Sitting there thinking, do you know what? Fuck this. Back to zoo. Pop the other two things. I was going to save them till lunch, but bang, bang. In the fucking thing. Banging it out. People. The only thing about smoking a joint on a sweatbox is everyone will hit you up and want some of it. There's never anyone that will not have none of it. Look, you can never smoke one to yourself, I should say. You can, but it's bang out of order. You're literally there, and people are looking at you through the glass, through the little lip. That's probably how big it is, like that. That's probably how big it is. Yeah, you've got no room in it. You can't stand in it, and there's a little window there, so you can see. You can see the road next to you. You know what I mean? On the other side, they're all looking at you bunning. It's cruel, isn't it? I mean, it takes a skill to get it to them. They've got to put it down and flick it under and hope it gets there. Mate, I've seen it before where it hasn't got there, you know what I mean? And the people have actually been like, God, please. And Screw's like, no, I'll leave it. I won't touch it. You can pick it up when you get off, but I'm not touching it. It's just there, like, in the middle of the aisle. I've wrapped one up. Screw's there. Wait. You're gonna fucking dumb or doing nothing. Is that joint? I've never smoked. That was my one. Is that weed? I don't know. I've never smoked weed before. I don't know what it smells like. Never smoked weed before in my life. What are they gonna like? This is the thing, yeah. The jailers ain't gonna do nothing. The people on the bus are really not gonna do nothing. What are like? He's not. He's at the back of the bus on his own anyway, yeah. Right, and they're usually sweet. They usually are sweet. You know what I mean? They usually don't give a shit. But he's sort of like got a bit panicky, like, what are you doing? I was like, I've never smoked weed before in my life. I don't know what you're on about. Just a tobacco thing. Anyway, we got there. Got off the bus. SNARESBROOK is I'd been to SNARESBROOK a few times, you know what I mean? And I knew a couple of the jailers. A couple of the jailers who worked in Romford Magistrates Court, then ended up at SNARESBROOK Crown. Must have been some sort of promotion, I suppose, from magistrates to Crown. But yeah, man. I mean, we're in the cell. Nothing spectacular happens in the cell. I mean, we're in there, we're just winding the screws up, you know, going to the toilet, smoking weed all out the place, and going into the toilets and banging weed. They're telling us they're gonna come in and spin us and take it. We're telling them it'd be funny if they tried, you know. We don't. I don't know why they pretend they care. I don't know why they take it so personal. You know what I mean? They're only taking us to court and back. Just let us have a good time while we're in this. At least we're not kicking off. But you know, on the whole, they don't take it so far. And again, they know. As long as you're an idiot, I mean, even if they come through and bust a door, you've got one zoot in your hand. I mean, you've got to be pretty dumb. If there's two of you to get caught wrapping a zoot, I mean, because one of you surely is going to stand in the door, and if they come in, you're just going to not let them in. But anyway, it didn't come to that or nothing like that. It was the court date in itself was just another boring day, even though we was buzzing. It was just getting there. It was a funny bit. I mean, yeah, went to court, red-eyed, buzzing, could barely stand up. Got 28 months. Can barely remember getting 28 months. That's the thing about when you get buzzing, isn't it? You talk about all these good times you've had and all that, good times, but you can never remember none of it. Um, yeah, got 28 months. So you got about 4.5, 4 or 5 or something. Went back to the cell and crashed out. Uh, a day out in Pentonville. A day out, and it had nothing to do with going to court. I had a day out on the day of my trial before, man. I forgot where I was. I think it was St Albans Crown. I was off my nut, mate. Solicitor told me, like, don't give evidence in your own defence. Just for the bad character thing, you know, where they if they can, if you've got similar charges back in the day, they can bring it up at the trial and say, well, if you're pleading not guilty for this, how come you got sentenced for this? If it's irrelevant, if it's similar, which is unfair, isn't it? Because it doesn't mean you've done the one you're on trial for. It's all designed to get you a guilty, innit? But yeah, my solicitor told me not to do it, and I did it anyway. I went up there, give evidence, and I was off me nut. Got found guilty, and I think I ended up getting a 5.5 altogether. Moral of that: listen to your solicitor. There you go. Moral to that story is listen to your solicitor. Adios.